Hi, I'm Jeremy Craven. You may know me from such things as being on TV, being in a couple movies, doing stand-up comedy, touring, on the road, in the States, and overseas. Now that I'm no longer doing those things, I need attention. So, I built from scratch a Polybius arcade machine. Now, the Polybius arcade cabinet popped up in Oregon around 1981. It's haunted or cursed or full of technology that the CIA would use to either read people's minds or zap their brains into doing something crazy. Think MK Ultra or literally anything the CIA has ever done. That's one of the things that always drew me towards the idea of this cabinet. This one particular piece of creepypasta or urban legend was that the CIA has tried to do things like this before. So I think it's real. Now, I had no idea how to build something like that, so I took the specs from a Midway cabinet. Classic, think Galaga, Miss Pac-Man. I cut the wood myself, I painted it myself, I designed all the art myself. The control panel, specifically, was like a pre-made blank for this style of cabinet, and all I did was drill the holes in it to set up all the electronics and the buttons and the joysticks the right way. The hardest part was the spinner. That took forever to do. Everything else was done, and I spent like 4 months trying to figure out how to make the spinner spin. Unlike the spinners on your car, which were popular in the late 90s, early 2000s, this spinner would not spin. So this bad boy is rocking a Lenovo ThinkCentre M93P. That's a small form factor computer, usually used in if you've ever done office work or lived in a cubicle from 9 to 5 every day, those little tiny computers that they have, little boxes, well, that's one of those. It has an Intel Core i5-457T CPU that clocks in at 2.90 gigahertz, Intel HD graphics 4600, doesn't matter, it's retro gaming. I got a 500 gigabyte hard drive that I'm filling up with as many classic ROMs as I can, specifically ones I enjoyed and ones that, well, every video game that my parents wouldn't buy me, I got it now. For the spinner, I have the Ultimark Spinner USB adapter. Now, Ultimark's a great company, and I bought this from tmolding.com. This is not an ad. Who also I bought the T-molding from. The T-molding is this stuff that you see down the side of the cabinet. I have Sanwa. I have Sanwa joysticks, and I believe I have Suzo half buttons. But those went in at the very beginning because it was the most exciting to me, and I don't necessarily remember. I even wrote down on here that I do not remember. And then the coin slots, they took a lot of work. I bought a couple of the cheapest coin slots that I could from Alibaba in China. They didn't work. I gutted them, repainted them, added another switch to the bottom that would then catch a coin of the appropriate size. Right now it'll only work with these tokens right here. After all this work, I've decided that I am going to stream. Like, you know those kids on Twitch that do the thing where they sit in front of their console and then they have the headset on and then they play video games while you listen to them talk? Well, it's like that, but from an arcade cabinet. So I have a Razer Kiyo Pro with the ring light mounted at the top of the screen, which forces me to hunch over a little bit, but I'll be able to do that. And I'll be streaming through OBS on to Twitch. Now, my Twitch handle, I believe, is twitch.com/IamGraylord, and my YouTube channel, where all of those recordings will then go to live forever, so you don't have to be there when I'm doing it, is youtube.com/youtube. They wouldn't give me a personal handle because I only have 41 followers so far. Both of those links will be in the description of the video, so you can just click on them instead of trying to type out whatever it is I just said. I don't even think it's correct. So if you want, from 12 to 1 every day, that's California time, so if you're on New York time, that's 3 to 4, you could watch me play video games. I'm going to start on Monday the 18th playing Arkanoid. which is a very special game to me. It was the video game that was in the steakhouse that my father and mother used to take me and my brother to for like special occasions. And man, steak's cool, but I was there for the Arkanoid machine. That game is really, really hard. And then following throughout the week, I will be playing Super Mario from, I'm going to say 3, from the Nintendo Entertainment System console, but through the arcade cabinet. All Nintendo games play really well for this because all you need is a direction pad and a couple of buttons. On Wednesday, I'll be playing Tetris. That was my dad's favorite video game, and he played it all the way up into the end. Had a Nintendo in his house. No other games. He wasn't a gamer. He was just like, that Tetris, that's a good game. And I agree with him. Probably the only good thing the Russians ever gave us. And let's see, then on Thursday, I'll be playing a classic game called Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. It came out in the 90s, based on a comic book. You're a bunch of buff dudes and dudettes who drive around in Cadillacs and fight the bad guys who hurt the dinosaurs. And then Alien Storm on Fridays. That is just the most obscenely ridiculous chunk of the 90s that you'll probably ever seen. Look it up. It makes very little sense. I still don't understand why the aliens are there, but they're storming, and it's a lot of fun to play. So join me on Twitch or on YouTube later. Feel free to follow me on either of those platforms. I'm old, I don't know how any of that works, but when it does work, it works 30% of the time, and that is a 50% demographic right there. Yeah, and I am streaming under the name The Grey Lord, or just Grey Lord. I didn't pick that name for myself. I was walking down Santa Monica Boulevard one day. Some guy in a lifted truck was like, "Get out of my town, Grey Lord!" I don't know, it's like, Grey Lord? He must like my gray hair. That's my name from now on. You guys have fun, and let me know what you think of the machine, or don't. Honestly, you could ignore this. I'm doing this mostly for me. I can continue to ramble in front of this camera for a long time. Now that you got me talking, I think we can really do this. I drink coffee in coffee mugs. And not just when I'm in my house. I don't take a thermos when I leave. I take the coffee mug with me. Why is a coffee mug okay in your house, but not somewhere else? You know, I walk into the doctor's office drinking, I'm not a doctor, I go to one, just drinking coffee, and they're like, "Oh, bold move, you brought the whole mug." And I'm like, this is what's bold now? I have all my clothes on. This coffee mug. Okay, bye.